Because it's year after an HDMI from the internet.
Yeah.
But you have, if you don't have it in
I've
your
already got
computer.
I have one that I
a
carry
bunch
with
of
my
death
Yeah.
names.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But the nice thing
I
is
even have some
about
other
her books is
I got a new router.
there's so much humor in it. And it's not so dark. There's very little darkness. It's just fun. It's funny router.
I found it really dark one. I'm doing one right now, it's called Lost Colors.
Ready, right?
Okay.
All right.
It's a good
Well,
one.
welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We will have our presenters, but first of all, I wanted to introduce the series here, Aging Wisely, partnered with Anythink Library and Transition Living Network. And Transition Living Network is just a group of us that work with boomers and seniors and wanting to bring resources to the community. So every month, if you didn't get one, we have a little calendar here. All of our events are planned out for the whole year. But I did want to introduce to you part of the rest of our team. So I'm Renata Anderson. I'm with Fairway Independent Mortgage. I'm a retirement mortgage specialist. We have Kimberly Diaz with Care Matters.
I'm a registered nurse. I'll be speaking next month. I'm caring for the caregiver.
Oh, okay. That's the second Tuesday, April 9th. Wednesday. Second Wednesday, April 9th.
And Kelsey Macklin.
Hi, I'm Kelsey, Calmagan Associates. I can help with anything with Medicare options and plans.
And
She's
then,
speaking September 10th.
and then Sherry Cree with the Center for Real Estate. She'll be speaking today. Yeah. And Carra Riley. So again, welcome, and I wanted to thank Thomas.
Renata, introduce yourself. Because
I did.
you're- Oh, okay. May-
Yeah, oh, and
May
I'm speaking
14th.
in May.
May 14th.
Yes. Yes. And I wanted to introduce Thomas with Lifeway Mobility. He is our snack sponsor, so we thank you very much.
Come on up, Thomas.
Yeah, come on in. Talk a little bit about what you do.
All right, so like you said, I'm Thomas with Lifeway Mobility. I work with mostly for seniors who are having trouble with the stairs, also people with disabilities, just helping them stay safe in their home. The major transition places being getting into the home, getting in and out of the bathtub, and getting up and down the stairs are the main areas of concentration for us. We work with stair lifts, elevators, wheelchair lifts, ramps, grab bars, full bathroom remodels, and we just do it well. Been doing it for about 25 years here in the Denver metro area. We are actually in 35 different markets around the country right now.
So it's a choice to stay at home, and this is a good guy to know.
It is a good guy to know.
Your accessible systems, right?
It's been accessible systems for about 25 years. About 3 years ago, we merged with Lifeway Mobility,
That's right.
going around the company.
I have the accessible system.
It's amazing. I was with another company for about 5 years, and after that amount of time, I wanted to work there at Accessible Systems. So I walked in one day, and a month later, there I was. It's been about 3 years. So
I went to look at their showroom.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
it's actually the biggest accessible showroom in the country. It's a very nice place. Once a month, we do webinars that it creates continuing education for PTs and OTs. And usually somewhere between 150 and 180 people across the country are watching that every month. So pretty exciting place. So any questions, let me know. I've got brochures and things back there. So if I can help you with this, let me know.
Thank you, Thomas. Thanks for all the great snacks. You always do a great job. So it's my pleasure to introduce our speakers today. So Sherry and Carra I've known and worked with, so it's a real pleasure. I have their information that I'm going to read here or talk about, but I want you to know these are two of the most passionate and caring realtors that I know, and I know a lot of realtors in my business and have been in business for a number of years, but they're both very passionate and caring. They care about you and your transaction and your family and what's going on. I've worked personally with both of them, and they both are just so full of heart and caring as they go through what can be a stressful situation sometimes in a stressful transaction. So, but first we have Sherry Cree. She is the owner and broker of Ascendant Real Estate, specializing in selling residential real estate in the North Metro, Denver. She has a strong belief in reputation is everything, and builds relationships and trust with her clients through the work that she does. She's won many awards, including Legacy Awards, over from the Denver 5280 magazine for a number of years. She is also very active in local community organizations, and I know just if you follow Sherry on Facebook, she's always doing community events and sponsoring groups. Sherry is a native of Japan. She grew up in Tokyo and graduated from Sophia University with a BA in law with an emphasis in international legal studies. She met her husband 29 years ago, Roger, while he was stationed in Japan with the U.S. Navy. They relocated to the United States, and they have a son who is now in the Army and stationed in Alaska. She has, her hobbies include tennis, golf, and hiking, which she's planning a trip this summer, fall?
April.
Oh, in April. Oh my goodness, to Machu Picchu for her to hike. So very impressive, very impressive. And then Carra Riley, who is a realtor with 4 designations within the real estate world, which is a big deal. It means they take the time to educate themselves. One of the big ones that's important here is the SRES, which is the Senior Real Estate Specialist. So she's taking this time to learn about working with seniors. She's a fun-loving vintage player, and she helps people, again through her website and some of our Facebook, help people go through connect the dots in the cosmic cow pie of life. She's a top producer. She was a top producing agent over the years. She was with Moore & Company, was a top producing agent of over 350 agents. She was with Metro Brokers. She was with Maui Connections in Hawaii and back here in Westminster. She spent 12 years in Arizona and helped people there with investing and moving to Arizona. She's currently a broker with Brokers Guild Real Estate, and she was also a former instructor with the Colorado Association of Realtors. Carra is local. She was born here and went to Broomfield High School and Colorado State University. So a little bit about them. Again, these are the most professional and expert realtors I know. When I want something or need to know something, I call one of them. So looking forward to their presentation today, Sherry.
Thank you. Thank you, Renata. So this is the title of our speaking today, and it takes a village. So when I thought of talk today, I realized being a realtor, we work with so many service providers and professionals to serve our clients. So sometimes I feel like I'm conductor of all the different parties. So it takes a village to help you have a successful home transition. And let's see. Okay, for my part of the presentation, I will start with just quickly, Renata already covered that Transition Living Network, why we started this group. And role of a realtor in your home transitions, and how important it is to have a planning and have a bigger vision of how your home transition needs to happen. And then, actually, it's 8 challenges unique to seniors when you are transitioning your home. And then just the last slide will be a summary of my presentation. So, Transition Living Network, we've been doing this for almost 2 years. And this is just network of professionals that's centered around serving seniors. And our vision is to empower seniors and families to successful lifestyle. And our mission is through this speaking engagement, we will bring all the expertise and resource to you. And being a realtor, I didn't start with like I'm going to be focusing on the senior clients, but how I got here was I had my clients ask me to help their parents transition. And sometimes it's out of state, and then I can make a great referral to have a right agent representing your parents. And sometimes it is local, and then I got heavily involved with working with seniors, not like me saying I'm a senior targeting realtor. So in that process, I learned real estate transitions, transactions involving seniors have a very different needs and then unique area of service that requires. So first, being a realtor, we all often be reached out first when their families are talking about, hey, you know, my mom needs to probably go somewhere else, or, you know, they're having a hard time keeping up with home maintenance, or my dad fell 3 times, and then we decided to go look for a ranch style home, but this gentleman lived in a very impressive home, 2-story, and all the bedrooms upstairs, and he had a hard time accepting the fact he cannot stay there in his independence. So we started looking at ranch homes, and then, do you like this? Does this work? Okay, well, let's write an offer. And he decided not to go many times for about 3 years. So I understand there's a lot of emotional component to home transition, and our job is to communicate clearly, present the options, so that our clients, seniors and families can make a very informed decision, understanding what options are and what best works for you. Okay? And I mentioned this early, but not just seniors, but any real estate transaction is a big part of your life transition. There's, especially in residential real estate, it's never just a real estate transaction independently existing. It's always part of your life, and then life changes. So people buy first home when you get married, or get an establishment in a professional way, or people get divorced, they sell the home, they each buy different homes, or sometimes illness and job relocation kind of force you to sell your home and find something else. So why the planning is the key applies to all real estate transactions or home transitions, that if you have a bigger picture, and then if you know what's important to you and what your goal is and how you want to get there, all of our professionals involved, our village, can get to work to make it happen. So my tagline is, I think, my name badge doesn't say it, but I had a name badge saying that my job was make it happen. So our job is for you, once you make an informed decision, to bring our expertise and to make it happen for you, for your decision, for your goals, and for your visions. And my recommendation in the planning stage is, because it is so important, write it down, and then if it involves your spouse, your kids, your relatives, I think it's important for everybody to get together and have a snack and coffee and write it down. Maybe if you had a big, whiteboard, it's great, but paper's fine. There are a different element, financial element, and then physical health element. Maybe you decide to stay there, but reach out to Thomas to install the elevator so that your lifestyle can be maintained at your current place. Financial, it involves, like, what are the options? I'm retired, don't have a huge income, can we get a mortgage loan? I heard about reverse mortgage, but I don't understand, I don't want a bank to take my house. And then you reach out to Renata, and she can do a Zoom call, or they have educational materials to understand. That's actually what my mother-in-law ended up doing. We had a Zoom call, and first she said, well, I'm not interested in a reverse mortgage. I don't want to do it. And I said, what do you know about reverse mortgage? Oh yeah, I just don't want to do it. And then I kind of, she was visiting, and we kind of sat down for the Zoom call and with Renata, and I said, you don't have to ask any questions. You just sit with me. Renata is my friend. I'm gonna ask a lot of questions about reverse mortgage because it's good learning for me. And you just sit there with me. And then she, maybe 10 minutes into it, she got into asking her own questions. And then after the call, she said, I think that's what I want to do because that solved her financial needs. And then emotional, it's your home, it's not just a box. So there's a huge emotional element to it. And then logistical needs. We had a professional organizer come to talk, but oftentimes when you live in one place, we are buried in a lot of stuff accumulated over years, and then that could be hindering to make your goal happen. So here's the village, and then I'm sure there are a lot more of it, but planning is really the key.
Did you have a question?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have, in your network, people who help others declutter?
Yes.
Last year I went to a decluttering one, but I didn't see it on the schedule.
So actually the previous month, Lori Holbach spoke, but she's a professional organizer, and then she'll also do packing, help, sorting, organizing. Yes, so this is the beauty of this community. This is the transition network, and then she's not the only one. We have a couple more professional organizers. So please use our resource to, hey, here's my needs, and then any of us will be happy to give you several names and to check out.
And then one other comment on the emotional aspect. For so many seniors, it really has to do with you're changing your community. When you move, whatever community you've developed around you, where you've been, that changes. And that's a big emotional piece.
Yes. So, we can get involved as a professionals and then address the emotional challenges. But really, it's in the previous slide in the planning. It is so much easier if you acknowledge it and then know what those issues are you're dealing with. Sometimes, there's big family dynamics get involved. So that's why I really spend time on this slide, because this really summarizes, what I want to talk about today. And then the rest is, the next is 8 challenges in senior home transitions. So this is more like actual, quick points. Financial limitations, income, you have large equity on your home, but you cannot tap into it, so reverse mortgage may be a valid option. At least I would, encourage you to understand what it is and how it works, and if that's not what good option for you, that, we're not pushing it, but, a lot of people just shut down and don't want to learn about it. So the financial element, and then this is the organizing part, the too much stuff. And also there's emotional attachment to those items. I raised kids in this house, and then there's all the history of a family in there. So pictures, there's a organizer specific to photos too. So estate company, I get asked from clients a lot to get the house ready for the market. And hey, do you know estate company? Estate sale company. But typically, just general. I'm not quoting a service, but they have an upfront cost to conduct your estate sale, and then they take typically the percentage of the actual sale. So it's not sometimes worth doing that, hiring the estate sale company if you don't have a lot of worth like a financially worth items. And then there are also like specific like art collections or some, there's some vintage cars, and those are like a specialized area. But estate sale company, if you have a large, valuable items, that might be a good option to reach out. And emotional attachment to homes, we already talked about. It's, earlier stage, if you think this psychological, emotional part is a big challenge in your transition, I would highly encourage involving a professional like therapist. But, because at some point it's not just a lot of stuff, it could be hoarding, and it could be, getting into depression and, spouse passing away, and then you lived in the home for 50 years, spouse is gone, that's a very difficult, emotional obstacles to come through for the transition. Okay. And then number 4 is frustrating family dynamics. So once you get into, that's why, again, going back to planning stage, and everybody gather and write it out. And what is the challenges? What do you want to do? What are your dreams? Because sometimes, once you get in the execution part of selling the home, moving into a different housing situation, there are all different parties in your family come out of nowhere, and then they all have opinions. Oh, you shouldn't do that, or like maybe you need to do this. Why are you doing that? So that voice could be very confusing and frustrating for the seniors who are in the transition already here. So if you don't plan well, that kind of thing will really mess up your execution stage. And who are the interested party who's whispering in the ears, but it really needs to be the homeowner, the senior himself or herself's decision. So it's better to get family on board on the planning stage. And potential fraud risk. So this is my actual experience. I was had an opportunity to serve a World War II veteran who lived in North Glen. And all his kids were in Wyoming, Arizona, California, and he and his wife were left in Colorado, living in the house that he lived in for 40-some years. And wife was in memory care under Medicaid. So, and then he was left in the house. And he came to the point with his health conditions, he had to go into hospice, it was hospice combined with, care home. And he didn't have that money, so he was going to sell. But, how does this asset that, the sales proceed count? And then we had to reach out to, insurance professional like Kelsey, that about Medicaid, your requirements, and then large sales proceed comes in, and he's going to use it to go to the care home, but how it's going to impact his wife's qualification to continue to receive Medicaid in the memory care. So potential fraud risk, that those family kids contacted me, hey, Dad can't keep the house, we're going to sell the house. But the reason they reached out to me was because they trusted me to ethically support him. He just got scammed by HVAC company. His furnace wasn't working well, so he called the HVAC company, and it was simple repair when they had a different contractor look at it, but he already signed to purchase a new furnace. So it was some part was worn out, and then they had to just replace it, but he didn't know. He called somebody, and that person said, hey, you need a new furnace, and then I forgot the number, but outrageous amount. That's why the family member contacted different furnace company, HVAC company, to look at it, and they were told, oh, no, this is just, some igniter going wrong or something like that. So please make sure, also service providers, like, I hear from seniors like, hey, I got this guy came to our house and he'll pay cash for a home, and I don't have to fix anything, I don't have to hire a realtor, I don't have to clean up the house, and then he's making a cash offer, should I take it? And then my advice was, you can still have a listing agent employ your realtor to be your listing agent, even for the cash deal, dealing with the investor, or there are like online, cash buyer, like iBuyer we call it, but you can still, all those, deals, you can still employ a listing agent to represent you and then advocate for you, so we can vet it. So I'm not saying all those cash offers are scam or anything like that, but you still have an option to negotiate with them. So I've sold a property in a state. All the heirs were out of state, and then I did go look at the house. It was, horrendous condition, and I didn't even vacuum the house. The house looked like it was not been vacuumed for 40 years. But I didn't intentionally do anything, and then I still put it in MLS, an investor special, investor only. I mean, you cannot limit it, but investor special. And then I did the investor only open house, and I think 10-ish, maybe dozen fix and flip investors came to my open house, and then they bidded against each other, and then really sold for like close to the retail price. So because they needed, next home. So anyway, potential fraud risk, these can be avoided if you involve multiple, village and family, village including the family members, because you have second sets of eyes, and so I don't recommend just doing one-on-one with one person coming in and then propose something, and it may be looking like a great deal for you, but involve other people, the other professionals, the villages. Okay, so, and then this is the part that as a realtor we can minimize your stress, but once you are in a position to sell house, and houses can be sold in different ways. Like I said, I can do investor special, all fixed up. I have seen Carra do like a garage sale combined with a sale of the house. We can be very creative to meet your need. But once your house is going to be marketed, it's going to become a product, and then it's not your home. So it's emotionally, again, very overwhelming to get the house ready for the market. But if you have a right professional, we can support you and then make it off your hand. And technology and fast-paced transactions, that also come to how well your realtor agent can represent you. But these days, all electronic contracts and negotiation tends to move quickly. So what I try to do with my clients is, first I ask their technology, comfort level. Do you like to text? Do you want me to call you? What's your bedtime? What's your doctor appointment time? And then I get to know your preference and then time schedule, so that you don't feel like you're being pushed and pushed and pushed, and I've been texting you all day, like I've sent you an email, do you not look at it? So those are the things that we can prevent, again, ahead of time, by setting your expectations. And then older clients tends to like phone call. They want to hear your voice, or they want to call me to ask questions, and then that's perfectly fine. And as long as like we are on the same page. But and then oftentimes the in-person appointment helps them. So I had a client went under contract and had a roof issue, and I went beyond being a realtor, as more like their daughter. I had to navigate all the property insurance maze of, you need to call this person for customer service, this is an adjuster, and this is a roofing contractor, and then this and this. And so sometimes navigating through those company phone numbers or email could be overwhelming. So either family member or your real estate agent can represent you and then help you do that. And so I went into my client's home on the snow day last year, last fall, and then got on the phone, and then he wrote phone number wrong, so we had a typo, so we called the wrong number. Okay, who am I talking to? So those things could be very, very stressful. But we can overcome this, and then just important to address if there's any technology challenges, and then we can still keep up with the pace of the transaction. Okay, and then this is once your home is on the market, the logistical challenges. You have to scoot out for showing, you have to be gone for 3 hours for inspection when your buyers are inspecting your home, and then the closing, do you have to go to the title company? I have a health condition, I cannot drive, what do I do? So all those things, as long as you communicate, our village is here to help you. So showings, I try to set up like it's your sale, so we will set up the showing rules as meeting your needs. So I had showings set up like, you have to have an advanced day notice in order to schedule a showing for this property. Or I had a client's plan to be with their family member for the first weekend when the property goes on the market. So you're not worried about the showing request, and then, by the way, showing requests typically come on your text these days. So we can set the showing rules to control when you receive a showing request or when you need to scoot out for the showing. So if you don't want to show the house anytime after 6 p.m., we can do that too. And so please know we have a control over that. And inspection, as a seller, you need to be out of the house for new buyer to freely inspect the home. But so I was representing the buyer, and then the seller, she was elderly lady, and then she was in grief mode. Her husband passed away, and that was 2 years ago. But she stayed home for 2 years, and then finally selling the home. And she would not want to leave the house for the buyer's inspection. So my buyers felt very awkward, invasive, and then we called the listing agent and asked, okay, well, the seller's still here. I thought the seller was going to be gone for the inspection. They're going to be going to crawl space, they're going to be going attic, they're going to be looking at her bathroom, So, and then listing agent didn't know she was still there because, I told her, she needs to be gone. But, be sensitive to that kind of emotional situations. And, my idea is, like I've done it with my clients when they are in that emotional attachment and grief, can't leave the house. They've decided on the head that they're going to sell the house, but on the heart, they don't want to sell the house. And then those are never successful transactions, a lot of turmoil. So if you address that ahead of time, and then maybe plan to take them out for, actually took them out for nice, like I don't call it dinner because it was like 3 p.m. But I took my clients out for 3 hours, and then we went to watch a movie and had a nice, supper, and then came back. So it was not her kicked out of the house for buyer to, do inspection. It was our little mini celebration because your home was under contract. So that's part. And this is my conclusion summary slides. So home transitions, today I only cover the sales because, there are all other options. Some people move in with a family member, some people go into assisted living and such. So, complexity of transitions that it is stressful for anybody to move your home to a different environment. And therefore, it is very important to have a clear vision and plan and addressing all the challenges, addressing all the desires and goals. And then involve a village. We are here to serve your needs and community support. So through Transition Living Network, we like to create a place that's safe and reach out hey, this is maybe an odd needs, but do you know somebody? And all of us are here. And here, like I said, the complexity of transitions, that it's not always the purchase of a new home, but like Kimberly here is the care navigator. She's the expert, like in home care or assisted living, independent living, memory care, and she is probably the go-to person, my superhero if it comes to any, transition situations. So that's it.
Great. Thanks, Sherry. Now, we're going to have the humor, okay? One of Sherry's slides said you have to have humor. This is going to be fun because your whole life is like up against the wall like spaghetti. This is what's happening. So we're going to try and help you be able to connect those dots in a fun way. She told you all the dots. There's a lot of dots. I mean, everything she said was what we have to do. But let's look at the practical end of it. And here we're going to have some funny pictures on a case study. This isn't funny, but a seller that runs out of money. I'm going to tell you real numbers. Social Security, $1,600 a month. House payment was $1,300 a month. Do the math. You can't live on $300. He ran all out of money. Now what do? This is a real situation. So we checked for refinances. We checked for reverse mortgage. The numbers didn't work. So my whole thing is know your numbers. You got to have a lender to help you figure this all out. And then purging 20 years of treasures. We're going to call them treasures. I'm going to show them to you in a minute. Do we find a rental? Do we find a condo? Do you know rentals in the north area? We could not find a 1-bedroom for less than $1,500, even in the low income. So we were in a pickle. And we needed to sell the house because pretty soon he wasn't going to be able to pay the $1,300. And then we have to pack up all the belongings. So then we make the move. But look at here. This was the house, okay? And it was up here, real close to 120th and Colorado Boulevard. If it would have been fixed up, maybe $500. And this is our team. Look at our team. There we are, all at one place. We've got the buyer, seller, we've got Renata, we've got a move organizer because she's looking at the new property to see what needs to come from the old property to the new property. And we even have the furnace guy with us. So we got you. Okay, so we got to start purging the treasures now, period. If you got one thing, throw away some stuff, all right? Start giving things to people who gave you things. We moved to Hawaii and we couldn't take all the stuff we'd been given. So anybody who gave us something, I read this in Ann Landers, I asked them if they wanted it back. I thought, they loved it. They loved it because they bought it for us and we said, we can't take it. It's a logistical thing. And then family or friends ask them to take something. Okay, I was just at a seller's house and they had a whole counter of wines. I don't drink. She goes, you have to take one. I go, no, I'm not taking this. Anyway, I took it, gave it to somebody else, and she got rid of one bottle. Now, this is what I dealt with. Okay, these are the pictures. You can see what they look like. And it's a challenge. But Lori Hallbrook with Square One Movers helped us do this whole thing. Now, it's not cheap, okay? And it depends, there are different kinds of people. It's just like there's different realtors you may or may not be attracted to, different helpers inside your house, that somebody talks the way you like. Look at this backyard. Does this look like a challenge? Even the yard. And the contract we got on it right away was get rid of all the stuff. Some investors will take it like it is, but they're gonna take 10 grand off the top because the stuff is still in there. So here we are looking at the new house, seeing if it's gonna work. And here's the workers. And there's our heater guy. Because we knew that if he was gonna buy something, the biggest cost is gonna be a furnace.
Right.
If you're buying a condo. So we brought him with us. Now, see that carpet? There is no way you're gonna clean that ever. So that was just, everything was gone and everything was how it needed to be when the people took possession. Backyard stuff gone. Isn't that a good before and after? Now, here it is signing papers. And what Sherry was talking about, we do it all digitally. So I go over and sit down with you and show you on the phone 3 or 4 times, or on your iPad or on your computer. Renata does this too. But I also bring in the papers so that you have a piece of paper. And then you go to the closing and everybody's happy. But here was the new replacement property. And look at this. The helpers put everything away in the kitchen. New furniture they helped him get from Facebook Marketplace. Got his computer all set up his dining room, his bathroom, even hung his clothes up. So he had to do nothing but help when they were throwing things away to say what he wanted and what he didn't want. And he bought us all t-shirts. He called us Chucky's Angels because it did take the whole village to help him get where he needed to go. And there's our celebration, and here's Renata again. And I have to say, Renata was the savior here, okay, with the lender. Your home is the center of all of this chaos, okay? But it's the middle, but it's not the all. The all are all the things that Sherry talked about, the financial part, the emotional part. And Renata came up with the idea when we couldn't find him a place to rent. She said, buy a condo, a cheap condo with a reverse mortgage. So that's what we did. There were only 2, literally 2, that were under $250,000, but it was a ground floor unit. And he had enough equity, plus he had $40,000 in the bank, and he only had to pay HOA, insurance, taxes, less than $400 a month. You couldn't go anywhere with that. But if it wasn't for the idea of the mortgage, it wouldn't have happened. So here's another. The seller's ready to transition to an independent community, and that is what Kimberly does. She helps you find places. Check the equity. We have to come in your transaction if you have a house. You need to know how much equity you have and what are the monthly payment options. Again, needing to purge 20 years of treasures. Find a community that meets your transition needs. Sometimes you go to independent and then you need assisted living, then you need memory care, but there's a price that goes with all that. And that's what Kimberly helps you with. But we always need to sell the house, pack up the belongings, make the move. Now here was a house in Broomfield, and here is what it looks like. at the kitchen table when they say, bring your family. We had 3 sisters. Now that was a challenge. But we were going over all the options of where she could move because this house was getting too much. Okay, so then, and sometimes you put it up and the market, we have windows, they open and close, and it's all interest rate related, and it's a mental mind game right now with the world. Okay, whether the buyers are ready to buy, whether they're not. Right now, that window is open, so jump on in. But look how big this furniture is. And she was moving into 500 square feet. So we had to get rid of all that. Well, there's an option. Depending on what you're doing and how much time you have, that dumpster can be in your yard too. But we went through trying to sell stuff on Marketplace. Oh my goodness. People don't want stuff anymore. And they really don't like old oak stuff, just saying. Tupperware, oh, I think I was the beneficiary of these, so I was happy. But selling everything, she ended up at San Marino.
Oh, that place.
What's that?
My friend lived there.
Oh, it's a lovely
It
place.
is, yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely. So, and we have a mobile notary part of our group, and I'm going to show you, 102 years old, and our mobile notary went to the house to sign for her. She's trying to get into Innovage, and Kimberly can help you with that too. But Heather is really a lot of fun. Now here's the case study 3. All right, finding a new place to live. Option to live with others. Remember what I said about Thomas and mobility? You can make places retrofitted to stay where you're at. And that's where we're coming from, what's best for you, not what's best for us. So many times you talk to a realtor and they just want to put the sign in, put it in the MLS and get paid.
Right.
Okay, that is not where we're coming from. We're coming from what's best to you. Finding a specific home or community, you talked about the new community. And combining, because with what's happening in the world today, co-living is the new word you should know about.
That's right.
Living with your families. It's going to be John Boy if you watch the Waltons. 3 generations in the one house. And it's okay. You know, we grew up thinking, oh, everybody has to have their own house and has to have this, have to have that. Sherry even talked about that, not owning all that stuff. So 3 families, 1 lawnmower. So lining up the financing. This is again the key. How are you going to finance this? How long can you pay to stay? Okay, sometimes people are moving places and they haven't thought, how many years do I have? How old do I think I'm going to be before I have to go to assisted living? What if I have to go to memory care? How much money do I have? So these are hard things, but we do it. And we're going to have fun because we want to do it when you're not sick, okay? When you're not struggling. Let's talk now. You may not call us for 2 or 3 more years, but at least we made our plan in advance. Okay? Do you need a move planner? That's what an organizer does. I call them a wedding planner. Now, deciding how convenient is it for friends and family to visit? Because if you move somewhere that's way far away from your family or friends, no one's coming to visit you. Just get over it. Okay? Am I right, Kim?
Oh,
So it's like you're going to be sad because you have this place to live, but you just got your dinner friends. Okay, now this is one, and I'm telling you about this because it's a perfect co-living property. I just listed it. Oh, this is where I took the wine from. But it's empty now. But it's at 129th in York. So minutes to the light rail, minutes to RTD. Main floor bedroom with a full bath. Okay, so somebody who doesn't want to navigate stairs, it's there. Then, for the rest of the family, upstairs, 4 huge bedrooms and a basement with a finished bedroom and a 3/4 bath. And look at this, room for an ADU. You may or may not know about ADUs, accessory dwelling units. Thomas is shaking his head. I think that's a big deal. And in Colorado, we passed a law over a year ago that says if you meet the setbacks to put a tiny home or a granny pod or whatever you want to call it in your backyard, then you can do it. And it doesn't matter about the HOA. But here, this has no HOA and no covenants. So, now Renata, this is a question I'm gonna ask her. If somebody got a reverse mortgage and they let their family live with them, it doesn't matter, right?
No.
Okay.
As long as they're living in the home.
Yeah, as long as you're living in the home, what you do with your house is your deal. Okay, are you putting those dots together? Anyway, if you want to take a picture of this, that's the QR code for this house. And it's $699,950, but it's possible 6 bedrooms and ready for the ADU. Now look at this. Renata did this, and there's a flyer back here. Just a short note on how the reverse mortgage works. You can buy that house, $699,950, if you're 75 for $420,000 down, and all you would have is taxes and insurance because there is no HOA. So you could live there for $450 if you had the $420. But it depends. If you're selling a house, you may or may not have the $420. Now this is going to be open on Sunday from noon to 2. I only have Girl Scout cookies. Now Sherry, she has sushi at hers. But I got Girl Scout cookies, 10 minutes. So Renata can help on that. Now let's say you want something else. This is what we do for people. I sent this postcard out. We had a buyer who wanted to live back into the golf course with the front facing either, what does it say, west or south. They didn't want the hot sun in the afternoon. I got 3 people answered from this, and we found them a house. So they got their community and they got the golf course. And here, this is a condo for $225,000. If it's approved for FHA, we can get you in and get you those payments under $400 or $500, depending on the HOA. So those are things that we do. Connect with the Transition Living Network. Here's the first thing. Decide if you want to transition. Most of us are going to have to at some point. So you can talk to us, and if it takes you 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, at least you have the connection. You'll get on our mailing list, and you'll be able to see what we're doing to help you. Determine your equity and your financial status. How much money's coming in? If it's not going to change, you know what you're going to have to live with. Create a plan for moving forward. And then connect with the professionals that will help you with. Start now. It takes longer than you think. It really takes longer than you think. I have a sad, sad, sad story of about 3 years ago when the interest rate started going from 3% up to 5 and 6%. And they had a garage sale every weekend for the whole summer. The house dropped $100,000. That's sad. Okay. So those are our little flyers. We had this out. You know, Doug's Diner at 136th in Colorado. They're helping seniors, letting them know what we have at the library. And here's our party. So the second Wednesday is December, which is the 10th. You want to come 10 to 11. We hope you're not having your Christmas party, Brian.
Me too.
But you will be able to meet all of our Transition Network people. So you can just socially meet them. And you can take home a gingerbread house to make it home, not at the park, in a box. Now, Kimberly and I are working on a workbook. And if you sign up on that pink sheet that's back there, you can get some free chapters because this all needs help. This is so much stuff. Nobody taught you about this, and it's just overwhelming. So we'll have that done within the next 6 months, but we are going to be giving out some free chapters. So if you want to sign up for that, in the back on the pink sheet. And this is my 94-year-old bonus mom. That was last year. So that's what we want you to be happy. She's been working her plan, and it's been great. So hopefully we can help you with making your plan. And now we only have 5 minutes for questions, but we do have 5 minutes. So, Sherry, anybody have any? Yes, go ahead.
You had mentioned the real estate in the northern area is going down in value down the market. I noticed my taxes were a little lower than they were last year, so.
No, I must have said something, but I didn't say
In the
that.
northern area, or maybe it was rentals, you said that was
High.
The rentals were
but
high.
the property values seem like they're lower now.
Well, it just depends on what neighborhood you're in. I wouldn't put it as a generality, because some neighborhoods are really still hot. And if there's very few listings, they're still at the higher rates, even with 6.5% to 7% interest. It's crazy. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know how we got confused there, but it just depends. Oh, maybe it was when I was telling you about the people, when the interest rate went from the 3.5 up to 5 in the summer. That's when they lost 100,000. Because they kept thinking somebody wanted their 1980s stuff, and I kept telling them, nobody wants it, your kids don't want it. The 7th garage sale says nobody wants it. So stuff is really hard to sell.
You just put it out in front of your house and say
Free.
$10 or $15 or whatever, and they steal it.
Right, exactly. Well, now, this is another really cool thing though, is you can have an open house or a garage sale with free stuff. You know, and say, I'm gonna be open, and maybe they'll clean it out, and you'll never have to get the dumpster because they'll take it all. So that's a fun thing.
Yeah.
But, so how many of you are thinking about, you must be here because you're thinking about moving?
No,
No?
no, I'm here to make sure that I can live where I am and
There you go.
maintain myself within my house, because I have a wonderful community, neighbors and
Yes.
friends, and I would be lost if I had to move somewhere else.
Well, there you go, it's just retrofitting what you've got, to
And I
make
do
sure you have the
I have
mobility
4
to get in.
floors, but I had
Little elevators or?
no, I have my chairlift in all of them, and so I can manipulate back and forth.
That's
So
great.
I will, manipulate my house as my needs grow.
Yeah.
And go when my mind goes.
Perfect.
That's
That's a good-
okay.
Did you have a question?
No, I just have a little bit different situation. I have a house that's too big, it's got 4 toilets, and I live
Oh,
there
wow.
alone. That's too many toilets.
Have you thought about the co-living?
Not enough for me, man.
Yes, but I don't really know how to go about that.
Do you know who does that? Is Lori Hallbrook, that she's the organizer. She actually has one, right across from the community college, and she's working it real well. I can give you her card.
I'll say also, Sunshine Homes.
Right.
Yeah, they're an organization that they vet people and they, help.
Oh,
Yep,
Kind
yep.
of co-living.
Yep,
yeah.
yep, so they do all the vetting. I mean, it's not a quick
But
process,
then
but.
what happens? Am I renting, like,
Yep.
they can have the whole upstairs, or they can
Well,
have whatever?
you decide that.
They match you.
So that they
Because
match
then
you,
if
you tell them
Then
what.
if you rent it, you have to change, it changes your insurance and your property taxes and everything, doesn't it?
Not
Change
rental.
property taxes. No, and you're just renting rooms, you're not renting out the entire house, it's a little bit
But
different.
they try to get a
Good
Yeah,
match
match.
for you.
That'd be excellent.
Yeah,
right?
Sunshine
Yeah.
Homes.
Yeah.
Make sure he's cute.
Or there's a lot of people looking for rooms.
I know they are. I have rooms.
They go anywhere from 800 to 1,200 for the room, and if it has a bathroom, you're gonna get the higher end.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I also
yeah, I
think
gotta
people
get rid of
there.
some of those toilets.
Correct.
Get
them to
them
pay
to
for
pay. Or get a room rent, so that
You
you
know,
can pay somebody to just clean your house.
Right, or part of the rent goes towards.
That's a
Yeah,
wonderful idea.
I'm here for
I could do
ideas
this too.
and I know that either I resolve this or I'm gonna be moving.
And you,
Because-
I'm sure it'll work out. I'm gonna do that too now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, the co-living, because that's the latest thing, okay, it's a real thing, and I think it's gonna be a big thing. Will add income to your, if you are on fixed income,
I am.
you know, then you wanna rent your rooms out.
Right.
You just wanna be picky about who you rent.
Yeah.
to.
Right, which
Very,
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 they do a very thorough
And
vetting
also,
process.
you know, you need to be on top of the legislative situation. So if it's called like, some people call it house hacking. You live there, it's your home, but you're renting out your room. So a lot of the landlord-tenant law that is going really on favor of tenants now,
Yeah.
it doesn't apply because it's your home. It's not
Oh, it
same as.
doesn't apply.
Yeah, so.
I didn't
but
know
again,
that.
What doesn't
again,
apply?
I know nothing.
a lot of the landlord-tenant law that is going in favor of tenants right now, I've been a landlady since 2002, so it's a very difficult situation right now for the landlords, but house hacking, it's your home, it's not your investment property,
Yeah.
so you can pick who to allow renting your room, because it's your home. And then I know a lady who even, she's a vegan, and she had in a lease agreement to the tenant who's renting
Only
the room.
vegan.
You cannot bring any meat or dairy product into the house.
Well, it's your house, so it's your house.
Yeah.
It's not a discrimination, because it's your home.
Oh, okay. That's what I was concerned about too, with all that situation.
Mine would be, you have to cook for me.
Yeah, and like you,
can just give 30-day notice too if it doesn't work out, the lease, you know?
right, for,
Oh, yeah,
I
Sunshine
do a
Coast
month to
does
month.
that.
And like Tom mentioned, I was doing my house in Florida is to traveling nurses, because they usually come in 3-month contracts. And they've had a background check, they've had, so you can connect with travel companies and tell them that you have rooms available, and then the company actually can pay you the rent. And nurses, I'm a nurse, we work a lot.
Would you like to have an event on this co-living thing?
I would.
With Tracy.
Personally, I would, but I don't know about, other
And
people.
if there's a big hospital or something nearby, you can have a contract with the hospital employer, and then you don't have to independently market to who are the traveling nurses.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you can have a contract with a
Wow,
company.
wow.
Can only be
There's a lot
therapists.
to learn.
There is.
Well, it's fun to explore options, but if you didn't come here, you didn't really think about that option.
Right.
So that's what we do, like give you options, so decision's always yours, that what works for you.
Just to have choices,
Yes.
that's
Right.
huge.
Yeah.
Right.
So, well, thank you all for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Let's
you.
stick around
That's
for
great.
any questions.
Great idea.
Eat some more food.
Yes.
Ate it all.
Good time.
So,
Oh, thank you.
how do I find out more information?
I should, what information about the renting?
How,